What's cooking, Ange?
So tonight we're gonna do grilled swordfish. So something a little bit different. I've done a lot of my prep already. So I've taken a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I've added to that some crushed garlic, as well as some saffron threads. I don't know that that's a required ingredient, so if you can't find them, I understand. They're also pretty pricey, but you'd use like very little of it. But I know it will add a little bit of color and it will add a little bit of flavor. So it kind of made basically an infused olive oil. What I've got over here are, I'll say, you can call them heirloom cherry tomatoes. So it's basically different varieties of cherry tomatoes. I've got some Spanish green olives, so they're in like a olive oil and a lot of herbs, like a Mediterranean green olive. I've sliced those up. A little bit of sherry vinegar, a little bit of fresh parsley, and some fresh chives. So that's what's in here. I'm actually gonna add these two together. Then I've got my swordfish steak. So if you've never had swordfish before, it's, I would say, a good gateway seafood thing to try because it kind of eats like a steak. It's not fishy like some of the whitefish or even salmon may be. It's much more meaty. You can see there's usually a skin around, the very one side of it. From a calorie, protein, fat percentage, I think when I looked online today, for 4 ounces, it was like 150, 160 calories, like 7 grams of fat, but 25 grams of protein. So really high protein. It'll cook a little bit, it'll cook faster than a steak, but not as fast as like tuna or some of the other real flaky whitefish. So what we're gonna do is I've got oil, I put a little olive oil on these steaks, I've got a hot grill going. I'm gonna cook them about 5 minutes on each side, a little salt and pepper before I throw them on the grill. Then I'm gonna pull those off, let them rest just a couple minutes, and then we're gonna serve it. I've got some vegetables in the oven, I've got some jasmine rice, kind of put it all on a plate and then just put, it's almost like a really rustic salsa, if you will, or yeah, I guess that's what I would call it. So by the time I add the infused olive oil to this, that'll kind of go over the top. You kind of eat it all together as part of your vegetable. Very Mediterranean. So we'll be back in a minute when I pull it off the grill. Okay, so we're back. So I've got our tuna steaks. These were about, well, in total they were about 1¼ pounds between the two steaks. And so you can see, actually I cut this one a little bit in half. I mean, you can definitely see it cuts pretty much like a steak and it's nice and meaty. I've got some roasted vegetables, some jasmine rice. I've got my salsa, or not salsa, but our tomato compote, if you will, we're gonna put over the top. And I keep stirring because a lot of the olive oil and juices are at the bottom. I'm just gonna throw that kind of over the top. And there you go, pretty healthy weeknight dinner.